Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today we are going to be jumping in and working through the Unsinged devotional kit from Creative Retreat Kits. And earlier in the month I shared the video where I put together my little mini book with the prompts from the kit. So I've already gone ahead and worked through the prompts for this month. I will definitely be doing this similar setup each month from here on out for a while, because it made it so nice to be able to have all of my answers to the reflection questions all in one place. And I worked through this before I went and started thinking about Bible journaling. And so this really helped me to work through the questions and just kind of have a better understanding of what the devotional content was trying to get across. So I today am going to be journaling in Matthew 27, kind of down here, like verses 38 through 44. This is during Christ's crucifixion, and everybody's kind of mocking him at this point. It says, "You who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests with the scribes and elders mocked him and said, "He saved others, but he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now." And so I just wanted to document, as we went through, some of the questions had us thinking about the different powers that were present and how they were being used. And as I came to this passage, just this idea that God had, Jesus had the power to save himself, to get himself off of there, but he chose death so that we might be saved. And so I want to just have a small little journaling spot to reflect on that. I did a lot of deep reflection in my little mini book, so my entry here can be a little bit smaller and simpler. So we're just going to kind of keep it down in the corner. I pulled out several stamp sets so that I can piece together a little phrase that I'm going to put on the little wood piece here. So I'll show you how I do that. I've already gone ahead and picked out the stickers that I'm going to use for my phrase, and I've just put it on a piece of wax paper. This is a great tip for you guys, especially for beginners where you're not quite comfortable with design elements and layouts and figuring out, how things are going to kind of nestle together. Setting everything up on a piece of wax paper ahead of time allows me to play around, and my stickers can just pop off of here and I can put them down on the page. Same thing with my stamping. I did some test stamping on a separate piece of cardstock to kind of play around if I wanted to emboss or if I wanted to stamp with different colored inks, and I kind of tested that out before I went into my Bible. That way I didn't have an oops with colors or layout or things like that. So that's a little tip for you guys if you're having a hard time getting things to kind of work together in the way that you want it to. So I've got all my stickers together. I've just got a couple of inks that I'm going to use. Again, very, very simple. So let me go ahead and put you on fast forward and we'll put this entry together.
Okay, so I'm going to start by stamping out the wood slice heart on a separate piece of cardstock. I am stamping this with some ground espresso distress oxide ink. And then because this is a water reactive ink, meaning that it's not permanent, it reacts with water, I can take a water brush and just kind of go over the top of this image, and it's going to pull out some of that brown color and color in the rest of the stamp. So because this ink tends to bleed through Bible pages when you do this technique, I did go ahead and decide to stamp it out on a separate piece of cardstock and then just fussy cut it out. And so that's a trick for you to use if you are worried about bleed through. So here I pulled out 3 different stamp sets. I've linked them all down below so I can piece together Jesus plus me, and I'm stamping that over the top of this with some VersaFine black ink, just so it kind of has that effect of being like burned into the wood, kind of like you would scratch your initials into a tree or something like that. That's what I was going for. So I did go ahead and fussy cut that out, and then now I can kind of play around with my layout. And here's what I mean about putting your stickers on wax paper first. I can kind of move things around and figure out where I want things as I layer up these stickers. So I'm going to layer this flame sticker behind my title, and then I pulled out stickers that spell out "I am set free from the fire because of Jesus." So I'm just going to lay these out. They are all using the stickers from the kit this month, but you can mix and match past kits as well. I'm going to use a T-ruler just to make sure everything is lined up. And it was very helpful to have things on that wax paper ahead of time, so I can kind of play around, move things around, decide where I want it, because I am doing a lot of layering even for such a small little entry here. So here's another example of that. I want to stamp this little like sunburst stamp set behind the word Jesus. So I'm just trying to figure out where exactly that needs to be stamped at before I lay down the rest of my stickers and do some more stamping. So I'm stamping this in the coral colored ink from Creative Retreat Kits, and then I can lay out the rest of my stickers, and everything will be linked down below. If you're not following me on Instagram, I do also share color matching swatches over there. So if you're wondering which inks color match kits each month, I usually share that on my Instagram post. So I'll have all that information down below for you guys. So I did decide to stamp the word Jesus in that same ground espresso ink, which is like a deep, deep dark brown. That way it kind of tied in with the colors of the kit. There's black in the lettering, but some of the stamps and things are, or not stamps, stickers are in a deep dark brown color. So that's why I stamped that, just so everything would kind of match and look the same. Now that deep color of Distress Oxide ink does bleed through these Bible pages, and I'll show you that at the end. As one final touch, I'm just smushing out a couple different ink colors onto an acrylic block. I have the coral color from Creative Retreat, I have Wild Honey from the Distress Oxide, and then I'll also pull out the ground espresso. And I'm just using that water brush to turn those inks into like a paint and then splattering that on the page to fill in some of the white space. And this is something I do when I do smaller entries like this. It just kind of helps, I don't know, add some interest to the entry, even though it's a smaller one. And I do still have room at the bottom there if I wanted to add some journaling, or on the top there, I could definitely come back and add some more journaling if I wanted to. So I just blocked off my scripture passage, stamping out the date. Again, all these products will be listed down below for you guys if you're curious about what I used. Here you can see, I'm going to show you the back side here. There was a little bit of bleed through from those ink splatters and that darker stamping, which is kind of to be expected with these inks. So if that bothers you, you can always prep your page ahead of time. And that is it. So if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Check out that description box for links to everything used. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.